Glad you're here. Everyone's in the house. Okay. B. Got it. Hiya, Todd. Open. Right?
Yes.
Why don't you start and tell them the page?
Shabbat Shalom. It's wonderful to be with you. Thanks for braving the weather. And we are going to begin on page 134 with this new melody for Zamru Ladonai that we've been learning the past couple of months. Page 134. And if your book has 2 page numbers, remember that if you have 2, we use the numbers in blue brackets. Yai lai la lai, yai ya la lai lai, yai lai 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 lai, yai lai lai lai, yai lai lai, yai lai lai, yai lai lai lai, yai lai lai lai, Zamru Ladonai, Zamru Ladonai bechinor, Zamru Ladonai bechinor vekol zimra, yai la lai, yai la lai lai, yai lai lai lai, yai la lai lai, yai lai lai, yai lai lai, yai lai lai, yai lai lai, Zamru Ladonai, Zamru Ladonai bechinor, Zamru Ladonai bechinor vekol zimra, yai la lai, yai lai lai lai, yai lai lai lai, yai la lai lai, yai lai lai, yai lai 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 lai, yai lai lai lai.
Oh, beautiful. So friends, like we do each and every week we gather, going to invite you to turn to someone whom you do not know. Introduce yourself. Share your name. Meet a neighbor. Turn around. Cross the aisle. Okay, have we met somebody? Very chatty tonight. Okay, I guess you've met somebody. Good. Let's turn back into the prayer book, page 120. 120, we light our Shabbat lights. The Shafers are going to come forward and bring some light, some of God's light into this space and into our lives. Thanks, friends.
Baruch Adonai, Melech HaOlam, Asher Kitshanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu lahadlik ner shel Shabbat.
Amen.
Amen.
Thank you, friends. We ask you to rise as you are able. 123, page 123. We continue with our Kiddush, and as we always do, if there is somebody here who is something sweet has happened that you want to celebrate with us over this past week, could be anything, any special occasion, any special day, any special day, just a little sweetness, we invite you to come forward. Ira's the only person in this whole congregation who's had something nice this week. Vacation time. You had a good meal. Oh my goodness gracious. We're going to have to work on this, folks. Hi.
Page 123. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam borei peri hagafen. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kitshanu b'mitzvotav v'ratzavanu v'shabbat kodsho b'ahava uvratzon hinchilanu zikaron l'mahaseh v'reishit yom tehila l'mikra'ei kodesh zecher litziat Mitzrayim kivanu v'acharta ve'otanu kidashta mikol hamim ve'shabbat kodshecha be'ahava uvratzon hinchaltanu Baruch atah Adonai Mekadesh HaShabbat. Amen.
L'chaim. Take a sip. What have you had to celebrate?
My son went under contract to buy a new house.
Son went under contract to have a new house. Mazel tov and good luck with that. All right. What are you celebrating? Your daughter and your granddaughter turned 18. And you guys are celebrating, have a good summer. All right, rock on, thank you. All right, friends, you could put your cups right back there. Friends, you may be seated. Let us turn back into the Siddur, back into the prayer book, page 138 and 139, the Chadodi, the prayer of the mystics of Tzvat, helping us to reimagine a time of peace and wholeness and happiness, welcoming the Sabbath bride. We're going to continue with the first and second, the fifth, and the very last, the ninth stanza, 1, 2, 5, and 9. Once we reach that last one, our custom in the synagogue is to rise as we are able. We face the open doors in the back of our sanctuary, symbolically welcoming the Sabbath bride into our midst. 138.
Lecha dodi likrat kala, yadadai, 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 ne Shabbat. נקבלה. לך דודי לקראת כלה, ידדי, 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 בני שבת נקבלה. שמור וזכור בדיבור אחד, השמיענו אל המיוחד. אדוני אחד ושמו אחד, לשם ולתפארת ולתהילה. לך דודי לקראת כלה, ידדי, 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 בני שבת נקבלה. לך דודי לקראת כלה, ידדי, 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 בני שבת נקבלה. לקראת שבת לכו ונלכה, היא מקור הברכה. מראש מקדם לסוכה, סוף מעשה במחשבה תחילה. לך דודי לקראת כלה, ידדי, 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 בני שבת נקבלה. לך דודי לקראת כלה, ידדי, 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 בני שבת נקבלה. התעוררי, התעוררי, היא בהורך, קומי אורי, 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 שיר דברי, כבוד אדוני עלייך נגלה. לך דודי לקראת כלה, ידדי, 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 בני שבת נקבלה. לך דודי לקראת כלה, ידדי, 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 בני שבת נקבלה. בואי בשלום, עטרת בעלה, גם בשמחה ובצהלה, תוך אמוני עם סגולה. בואי חלה, בואי חלה. לך דודי לקראת כלה, ידדי, 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 בני שבת נקבלה. לך דודי לקראת כלה, ידדי, ידדי, בני שבת נקבלה.
May be seated. We turn forward 142.
Shalom Aleichem, Malachi Hasharet, Malachi Elyon, Mi Melech, Malchi Hamlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Boachem l'shalom, Malachi HaShalom,
Malachi
צאתכם לשלום, מלאכי השלום, מלאכי עליון. מי מלך מלכי המלכים, הקדוש ברוך הוא.
Again, we ask you to rise as you are able. 146. We continue with Baruch Hu.
Yai la lai 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 lai, yai lai lai, yai la lai lai, yai lai 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 lai, yai yai lai lai lai, yai yai lai lai lai, yai la lai lai, yai lai 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 lai, yai yai lai lai lai. Yai, yai, lai, lai, la, lai. Yai, la, lai, lai, yai, lai, yai, lai, lai. Barechu et Adonai hamevorach.
Page 150. That's what I said, 151. Let's read together. Wisdom and wonder, passion and instruction, story and symbol. All these things your Torah gives to us, and the more we devote ourselves to it, the more it grows and gives. What could be a truer token of your abiding love than this holiest of your works and the living language that gives it form? Baruch atah Adonai, Ohev Amo Yisrael. We turn the page.
Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. 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 Baruch Shem Kevod, Shem Kevod Malchuto, Leolam Vaed. Baruch Shem Kevod, Shem Kevod Malchuto, Leolam Vaed. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, ואהבת את אדוני אלוהיך בכל לבבך ובכל נפשך ובכל מאודיך. והיו הדברים האלה אשר אנוכי מצווך היום על לבביך, ושיננתם לבניך, ודיברת בם בשבתך בביתך ובלכתך בדרך ובשוכבך ובקומך, וקשרתם לאות על ידיך, והיו לטוטפות בין עיניך, וכתבתם על מזוזות ביתך ובשעריך, למען תזכרו ועשיתם את כל מצוותי, והייתם קדושים לאלוהיכם. אני אדוני אלוהיכם, אשר הוצאתי אתכם מארץ מצרים, להיות לכם לאלוהים. אני אדוני אלוהיכם, אדוני אלוהיכם אמת.
Let's read together on 157. Standing on the parted shores of history, we still believe what we were taught before ever we stood at Sinai's foot, that wherever we go, it is eternally Egypt. But there is a better place, a promised land, that the winding way to that promise passes through the wilderness, that there is no way to get from here to there except by joining hands and marching together. Let's turn the page.
Ya lai 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 ya la lai ya la lai 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 la lai la lai ya lai 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 ya lai ya la lai ya lai 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 ya la lai lai lai. Mi chamocha ba'elim Adonai, mi kamocha nehedar b'kodesh, Torah tehilot osei feleh, Torah tehilot osei feleh. Malchutecha ra'u vanecha, bukei hayam mivnei Moshe uMiriam, ze Elianu ve'amru, ze Elianu ve'amru, Adonai imloch le'olam va'ed, Adonai imloch le'olam va'ed. Lai 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 ya la 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 lai ya lai 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 ya la la lai ya lai 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 ya lai ya la lai ya lai 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 ya lai lai lai.
We turn the page, 160.
Hashkivenu Adonai Eloheinu leshalom, v'hamidenu shomreinu the shelter of your peace. Spread the shelter of your peace over us. Guide us in wisdom, compassion, and trust. Ashkivenu Adonai, Eloheinu leshalom, V'hamideinu shomreinu lechaim. Save us for the sake of your name. Save us for the sake of your name. Shield us from hatred, sorrow, and pain. Ashkivenu Adonai, Eloheinu leshalom, leshalom, v'hamideinu shomreinu lechaim, lechaim, lechaim.
Take a breath. We move into the tefillah together. We turn to 164. We rise as we are able.
Adonai sefatai tiftach ufi agid tehilatecha. Adonai, open up my lips, that my mouth may declare your praise. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu ve'Elohei avotenu ve'imotenu, Elohei Avraham, Elohei Yitzchak, Elohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Rachel, Elohei Leah, Ha'el Hagadol, Hagibor v'Hanora, El Elyon, Gomer Chasadim Tovim, Bekonei Hakol, V'zocher Chasdei Ahavot v'Imaot, Umevi Geola Livnei V'Nehem, Leman Shemo Be'ahava, Malach Chozer Umoshia Umagen, Baruch atah Adonai, Magen Avraham, Bezrat Sarah. Atah Gibor Leolam Adonai, Mechayeh Hakol Atarav Lehoshia, Morid Hatal, Mechalkel Chaim Bechesed, Mechayeh Hakol Berachamim Rabim, Somech Noflim Berofei Cholim, Umatir Asurim, Umekayem Emunato, Lishenei Afar, Michamocha Bal Gevurot, Umido Melach, Melech Memit, Umechayeh, Umatzmiach Yeshua, V'ne'emanata lehachayot hakol. Baruch atah Adonai, Mechayeh hakol. Atah kadosh, v'shimcha kadosh, u'kadoshim b'chol yom, yalelucha sela. Baruch atah Adonai Ha'el HaKadosh.
Let's be seated. Page 177. And let's read together. God of goodness, we give thanks for the gift of life, wonder beyond words, for the awareness of soul, our light within, for the world around us so filled with beauty, for the richness of the earth, which day by day sustains us. For all these more, we offer thanks. Baruch atah Adonai, hatov shimcha, lecha na'eh lehodot. We turn the page.
Shalom Rav al Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. Shalom Rav al Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. Ki ata Adon lechol hashalom, ki ata hu melech Adon lechol hashalom. Shalom Rav al Yisrael Amcha Tasim Shalom Rav al Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. V'tov be'einecha levarech et Amcha Yisrael b'chol עת ובכל שעה בשלומך. שלום רב על ישראל עמך תשים לעולם. שלום רב על ישראל עמך תשים לעולם. תשים לעולם. תשים לעולם.
We take some time for our own personal prayer. If you'd like to follow along in the prayer book in the Siddur, you can look on pages 179 through 181. Choose a reading to reflect upon, or just take some time for your own thoughts, prayers, or reflections.
עושה שלום במרומיו, הוא יעשה שלום עלינו. עושה שלום במרומיו, הוא יעשה שלום עלינו. עושה שלום במרומיו, הוא יעשה שלום עלינו. יעשה שלום, יעשה שלום, שלום עלינו ועל כל ישראל. יעשה שלום, יעשה שלום, שלום עלינו ועל כל ישראל. עושה שלום במרומיו, הוא יעשה שלום עלינו. עושה שלום במרומיו, הוא יעשה שלום עלינו. עושה שלום במרומיו, הוא יעשה שלום עלינו. יעשה שלום, יעשה שלום, שלום עלינו ועל כל ישראל. יעשה שלום, יעשה שלום, שלום עלינו ועל כל ישראל. יעשה שלום, יעשה שלום, שלום עלינו ועל כל ישראל. יעשה שלום, יעשה שלום, שלום עלינו ועל כל העולם.
Let's turn 371. In the middle of the page, our prayer for healing and wholeness, healing of body and a healing of soul. If you would like to share the name of someone on your mind and your heart who could use a little bit of love from us, we invite you just to lift up those names and call them out. Page 371, the middle of the page.
מי שברך אבותינו מקור הברכה לאמותינו. May the source of strength who bless the ones Amen.
You know, the other day was a Jewish holiday on the calendar that nobody knows about. In fact, growing up, if there was something that my family didn't want to do, they would say, oh, we'll do it next Tisha B'Av. Tisha B'Av it's a heavy day. It's kind of a downer. Tisha B'Av is the 9th day of the Hebrew month of Av, Tisha B'Av, and it reminds us, it tells us to remember these destructions. The destructions of the first and second holy temples in Jerusalem. The first was destroyed by the Babylonians. It was rebuilt again later, and when the Israelites were allowed to return, and then it was destroyed a second time by the Romans. You might remember seeing the menorah being taken to Rome on the Arch of Titus. So on those two major, devastating calamities of the Jewish people, that's part of our memory, are marked on Tisha B'Av. And then over the centuries, a lot of other things that were coming and being associated with it. It's traditionally a day of mourning. It's a time of being somber. It's a time of remembering. And before folks experience a Holocaust in the 20th century, this was the main time to remember these different calamities. But here's the strange thing about Tisha B'Av. The rabbis don't blame Babylonia or Rome. Babylonia and Rome had the siege engines. Our enemies had the legions. Our enemies lit the actual fires. And the tradition looks at all of that and says that's not the real story. In the Talmud, in our rabbinic writings, it says the Second Temple stood in an age of incredible Torah learning. And people were observing mitzvot. And there were acts of gemilut chasadim, these acts of loving kindness. So why was it destroyed? And the Talmud gives us the answer, mipnei sinat chinam, because of baseless hatred. Hatred with no reason or rationale. Sinat chinam. So a generation of learned, observant, and generous people, they hated each other. There was this infighting that was going around at Second Temple times. So on the saddest day on the Jewish calendar, the tradition tells us to indict ourselves. I want to ask tonight, not whose fault was the destructions. I'd rather ask, what does hatred take from us that we don't even notice it's taking? Can I say that again? What does hatred take from us, what we don't even notice it taking? So there's another story about Tisha B'Av in the Talmud. And it's this really kind of strange story. There's a guy who throws a big party in his apartment in Jerusalem. And he sends servants to invite his friend named Kamsa. And the servant brings back not Kamsa, but he brings back Bar Kamsa, right? There's just a little difference in the name. He brings back Bar Kamsa, and Bar Kamsa is the host's enemy. The host looks up, he sees that the wrong man is sitting at the table, and he says, "Get out." And Bar Kamsa says, in front of everyone, by the way, "Let me stay. I'll pay for my meal." And the host says, "Nope." And then Bar Kamsa says, "I'll pay for half of the banquet." And the host says, "Nope." And then he says, I'll pay for the entire banquet, every guest, the whole spiel. And the host says no. And he takes him by the arm and he puts him out the door. Now, understand what just happened in this Talmudic story. It was never about the money. The money was on the table 3 different times. What the host wanted most was the humiliation of the man he thought of as his enemy. And here's the line that should keep us up each night. The sages, the learned, they were all sitting right there. In the Talmud, it's very clear that it's in front of them, and the host is supposed to be this really important figure. So, of course, the sages and the leaders were all there too. The whole room watched it happen, and not one of them said a word. One of the greatest teachers, Rabbi Yochanan, does not blame the host. He blames the silence. He blames a particular rabbi who's scrupulous and following all of Jewish law super carefully. And he's so concerned with getting the law exactly right that he let Jerusalem burn. Sinat chinam, that baseless hatred, it's never a mob. It's usually a room full of really decent people who each had a very good reason not to say anything. It makes me cry too. Now, I don't think I have to work very hard to bring that room into this one. We're living in a country that is fluent in contempt. Now, contempt is different than disagreement. We've always had disagreement. I love disagreement. And God knows Jews have always appreciated disagreement. Contempt is different. Contempt is when I no longer believe you are arguing in good faith, when I have decided in advance that your position could only come from ignorance or malice. That's contempt. Some of us have a family member that we might love, but we can't talk to. Some of you are shaking your heads. Some of us have a topic that we steer clear from around dinner tables. Some of us have quietly stopped speaking to someone that you might have spent 30 years loving. And we're doing it to each other as Jews too, about Israel, about observance, about which of us is the real thing. So I want to be careful here. Let's be clear. This is not a disease that one side of the aisle has and the other side doesn't. It is in the water. It's everywhere. And it's in me. And I have to catch myself too. There's this incredible Hasidic teacher who people know of as the Netziv. And the Netziv, in this introduction to a book, he asks, who exactly destroyed the second temple? And his answer, they were not the wicked people. They were the righteous ones. It's because of them. They were pious and they were scrupulous. And when they saw someone practicing differently than they did, they concluded they must be a heretic. They must be less. And they felt entirely justified in judging that other person from doing Jewish differently than them. And that's the most frightening thing I think that can happen amongst the Jewish people, because it means the danger is not that we will become cruel. The danger is that we will become so certain and let the cruelty follow behind it, wearing the clothing of principle. Now, I know what you're going to say, because I would say it too. What about when we need to be certain? What about when we need to stand for a principle, for justice? And I agree. One doesn't have to be false for the other to be true. Both can be true. We can stand for something and fight for justice, and we can't cause harm in our pursuit for justice. Otherwise, what kind of justice is it really? So, on Tisha B'Av, just a few days ago, we read a line from the Scroll of Lamentations. In Hebrew, it's called Eicha. And this is the turning point for us. In Eicha, in the very, very beginning, the second verse, it says that Jerusalem weeps in the night, there's tears on her cheek, and this is about the destruction of Jerusalem by the Babylonians. And it's very graphic. It's not an easy read. And then it says in verse 2 of the very, very beginning that it says, Ein la menachem mikol oaveha. She has no one to comfort her. Out of all who loved her, nobody was there to comfort her. The her is referred to as Jerusalem, or even the people of Israel. But then keep listening to this. Im menachem la, there is no one to comfort her. Rachak mimeni menachem, a comforter is far from me. Ein menachem la, ein menachem li, there is no comfort to her and there's no comfort to me. In one chapter, that lack of comfort, the lack of anybody showing up is mentioned 5 different times in the very first chapter of Lamentations. What is Jerusalem actually complaining about? It's not the walls coming down. It's not the gates that have been thrown off. It's not the temple. The loudest grievance in the whole book is that nobody came. Jerusalem is at a graveside, and there is no one single friend sitting next to her. A city that learned to sit silent while a man who came to a party was humiliated at a banquet. That is a city that no longer knows how to show up for anybody. And that is what sinat chinam, that baseless hatred, that's what that is. And that's what it does to a people. It's not only that it makes us cruel, it is that it slowly unteaches us how to be present to another person's pain. That's what's bothering me the most in this world right now. We can talk about the hurts, we can talk about policies, we can talk about all of the challenges. I feel like we are unlearning how to be empathetic. The missing comforters are not a second tragedy that happened alongside the destruction. The missing comforters are the destruction. So, that brings us to this Shabbat. I spent this whole time talking about Tisha B'Av, the 9th day of Av, and destruction and calamity and memory and what it means. But immediately after Tisha B'Av, the 9th day of Av, comes this Shabbat, and it's called Shabbat Nachamu, the Shabbat of comforting. For 7 weeks from Tisha B'Av, each Shabbat, 7 Shabbats, up until Rosh Hashanah, and 7 is an important number, right? Wholeness, peace, 7, creation. It is all about bringing comfort. And this one begins with a line from the prophet Isaiah. Nachamu, nachamu ami, yomar alechem. Comfort, comfort my people, says your God. And it's in the plural. Nachamu, all of you, bring comfort. Rashi, this greatest of all of the commentators in medieval France, he says that God is speaking to the prophets. You go and comfort my people. The comforters of Jerusalem could not find anyone to show up for them in Lamentations. But God drafts them all in Isaiah. The answer to Ein menachem, there is no comfort, is not a miracle. The answer is handed to human beings. So this is what I'm going to end with. And this is what I'm asking of me, because the sermons you get is really just what I need to work on. Be someone's missing comforter. Every time I say that out loud, I feel like there's supposed to be like this big heavy blanket, but that's not really what I'm talking about, but it kind of is. Be someone's missing comforter. There's a person you have been avoiding, maybe because they're grieving and you don't know what to say. So show up. Maybe because of what they believe or what they posted or what they said at the last Seder. Go anyway this week. Maybe you don't feel like you have the right words. The mitzvah is nachamu. It's about showing up and bringing comfort. I don't know what to say, and I'm here anyway. And whenever we do that, generally speaking, it doesn't typically make things worse. Typically. And if that's not in your life, then help us by showing up within community. When there's a minyan for someone that you don't know, go anyway, because our mourners need people to show up. Join our caring committee and help with a meal train. 500 households, 1,000 adults in this congregation, and we have a hard time sometimes filling up a meal train. Join the Chevra Kadisha. Help somebody at the very end of life and be present and show up at a time when you can't be thanked because the deceased is sitting right next to you. Jerusalem wept in the night and said 5 times, "There is no one to comfort me." Let that not be said about anyone in this room. Nachamu, nachamu ami. Comfort, comfort my people, says the Holy One. Thanks. Let's move to conclude. Aleinu l'shabech. 586 at the bottom of the page, 586, the very, very bottom paragraph. And we rise as we are able.
Aleinu l'shabeach l'adon hakol, לתת גדולה ליוצר בראשית, שלא עשנו גויי הארצות, ולא שמענו כמשפחות האדמה, שלא שם חלקנו כהם, וגורלנו ככל המונם, ואנחנו קוראים ומשתחווים ומודים לפני מלך מלכי המלכים הקדוש ברוך הוא, שהוא נוטה שמיים ויוסר הארץ, ומושב יקרו השמיים ממעל, ושכינתו זו בגובהי מרומים. הוא אלוהינו אין עוד, אמת מלכנו אפס זולתו, ככתוב בתורתו, וידעת היום והשבות אל לבביך, כי אדוני הוא האלוהים בשמיים ממעל, ועל הארץ מתחת אין עוד.
591.
ונאמר והיה אדוני למלך על כל הארץ, ביום ההוא יהיה אדוני echad, u'shemo echad.
May be seated. Zichronam levracha, may their memories be for a blessing. If you are observing a yahrzeit is the anniversary of one's death. If you're observing a yahrzeit or in a period of mourning, we invite you, if you choose, to rise for a moment, share the name of the one whom you are remembering, and then we'll continue with additional names from the community. Ira.
My grandmother, Bloomy Salzhouse.
Penny? Aaron? Laura? Margie? To those names, we also remember in those first few weeks Robert Schaffner, the uncle of Marcia Siegel, and Joyce Berger, the mother of JC and Sharon. Those yahrzeits that we recall for this week that's passed, we remember Verna Ametin, Bernard Aron, Shirley Bank, James Bernstein, Howard Brantz, Ethel Browdy, Michael Cardozo, Irene Castleman, David Chalfin, Lou Cohen, Hannah Marguerite Dickens, Sonny Dosick, Jim Edwards, Mark Friedman, Larry Freeman, Rhonda Friedman de Bono, Lois Gelfarb, Benjamin Greenberg, Jay Harrison, Shirley Hartman, Suzanne Hassner, Arthur Hausman, Jeanette Jacobs, Isidore Karp, Margaret Keller, Ruth Kempe, Leon Kruger, Hugh Levin, Scott Marbach, Sarah McNeil, Elizabeth McTaggart, Bruce Morashik, Gladys Paisner, Gladys Fow, Martin Reinfeld, Alexander Robbins, Ruth Rosenberg, Edward Ross, Bluma Salzhauer, Linda Schinderman, Jules Sigmund, Alan Singer, Thomas Sonnenberg, Freda Unger, Miriam Weissman, Edward Weber, Ruth Winston, and Fred Witto. Kaddish is on page 598. We stand together as one community, shoulder to shoulder, bringing comfort to one another. Page 598. Yitgadal v'yitgadash shmei Rabbah, v'alma divrach yirutei v'yamlich malchutei, v'chayechon v'yomechon, v'chayei decho beit Yisrael, v'agala v'zman kariv v'meru, Yehei shmei Rabbah mivarach leolam u'mea maya, Yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitromam v'yitnaseh, v'yitadar v'yitalev v'yitalal shemed kodesha barechu, leila min kol berchata v'shirata, tushbechata v'nechemata, damiran be'alma v'meru. Yehei shlama rabba min shemaya, v'chaim aleinu v'al kol Yisrael. V'meru, Amen. Oseh shalom b'mromav, oyaseh shalom, aleinu v'al kol Yisrael, v'al kol yoshvei tevel, v'meru, Amen. May the source of peace send peace and strength to all who mourn, all who hurt, here and everywhere. We say Amen. Let's return to our seats. Our closing prayer is on this little white song sheet handout that Penelope gave to all of us. And so if you will see Nachamu, Nachamu Amid, the same words from Isaiah, we invite you to join us in prayer and find the strength that we listen to that prophetic voice and make a difference in other people's lives. Let's look on that handout. And then afterwards, we'll be very grateful if we bring those papers and books back to the carts over there, and we can have a little oneg together, which, by the way, means joy. It doesn't mean food. It's actually joy. There's no difference.
Thanks, Todd. Nachamu, Nachamu, Ami Yomar Elohechem, Nachamu, Nachamu, Ami Yomar Elohechem, Nachamu, Nachamu, Ami Yomar Elohechem, Nachamu, Nachamu, Ami Yomar Elohechem. Comfort us in our wilderness. Comfort us as we struggle to take care of one another. Comfort us in our wilderness. Comfort us as we struggle with this world. Nachamu, Nachamu, Ami Yomar Elohechem, Nachamu, Nachamu, Ami Yomar Elohechem. Comfort us in our wilderness. Comfort us as we struggle to take care of one another. Comfort us in our wilderness. Comfort us as we struggle with this world. Nachamu, Nachamu, Ami Yomar Elohechem, Nachamu, Nachamu, Ami Yomar Elohechem.
Shabbat Shalom, friends. Wish your neighbors a Shabbat Shalom. And now you can have some oneg.